So if we just start with back control, Professor, if I can just have you for a second. The first thing, and we'll spend a few seconds on this, is when you learn traditional back control, you get your hooks in and you get your seat belt. Now what happens to a lot of people is that they get sloppy with this and they easily lose it. And the biggest mistake people make is they keep their head and their upper body back here. When you think of just getting back control, you want to imagine yourself like a backpack on the person's back. And so what that means is that I have my seatbelt grip and I have my head literally right next to his ear. My chin is on his shoulder and I'll almost hunch up my shoulders a little bit where I should just be like a backpack. So now whichever way he moves, I'm just attached to him. Even if I don't have my hooks, whichever way he moves, I'm just attached to him. Like this, like a backpack. So that's the first thing you want to think about at back control. This is not back control. He's got all this space. He's going to turn into me. When you think of getting the back and you secure your seatbelt, the first thing you want to do is put your head on your chin, on their shoulder, almost hunch your back a little bit, and then just think of yourself like as a backpack. So that's just one thing about the position. Now in terms of the control, like here I have great control, he's not going anywhere, but I'm not going to submit him. I'm not going to get past his defenses. And what are those defenses? He has two hands. He also has his chin. So I have 3 defensive barriers that I have to get past. I only have 2 offensive tools. So I'm outnumbered here, 3-1. But this is supposed to be the best position in Jiu-Jitsu, and it is. But I need to work on how to defeat these 3 different barriers. So the first thing I want to do is with my bottom hand, right? So when I get my seatbelt, I can either do it like this, I can do it like this. It'll really depend on you guys. But first thing I want to do is I want to grab same side grips. I want to grab here. I'm not going to grab up here. It's loose. I want to grab here because this is much easier for me to control. And I want to grab this here. This is called same side grips on his wrists. Now what this allows me to do is I keep control. If he tries to move around different places, he's not going to be able to do that, right? And I'm going to fall to the side of my underhook. So I'm going to come here. When I come here, these hooks are going to press down here and come to this side. And the reason I'm going to do this is now my right leg is very mobile. Okay? What I'm going to do from here is I'm going to push this hand down. And as I push this hand down, I'm just going to feed it, bring my leg over, and bring this leg over his hand. Now I've defeated one of his hooks, one of his defenses. I'm going to keep this hand down here. I'm going to take this hand and he's going to put his chin down. I can't get past his chin like this. Now this is a move that sometimes be nice to your training partners when you're doing it in practice. In competition, obviously, you can be a little bit mean. But when he puts his chin down, I'm just going to get this thumb and start bringing it in, crawling it, and then I'm here. Then I can either do a one-arm choke if I feel really good, or I can bring this back here and do the choke. So the choke, you'll get very quickly, but the first step is I grab this hand. My second step is I grab this hand. These are my 2 same side grips. I can hold them around, I can move them here. Now I've got to get to my side, right? Because look, I'm not very mobile with my legs. Like maybe you guys are, but I'm not that flexible. I'm an old man. So I got to go to my side, and you notice what I do with my hooks. I take this bottom hook out, and I bring it across his waist. And this foot just sits on this heel. And the reason I do this is because this is mobile now. I can move it around. I have so much movement here. And all I'm going to do with this hand is I'm going to push it down. And let's say he's resisting. It might take me some time. I might be here, but I'm eventually going to get here. And then I can trap it. Now, if you have shorter legs, maybe you can't get your foot all the way down. If you have shorter legs, not a problem. You just do this. If you have shorter legs, that's all you do. Now he has one arm left and a chin. So I keep this grip, and now it's my one hand against his chin, which I take the blade of this thumb and I just get it slowly, 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 and I crawl, 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 crawl. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with the chokes, if I put my hand on the palm here and I press in, I can get this choke, or I can let go of this hand, I can swim it back, and I can get my rear naked. But all I want you to get to is really just this position. So one more time. We're here. He's fighting for grips. He might be looking to strip it. That's perfect. He's looking to strip it. I can hold it like this, then switch. I can swim around and switch. I'm going to push this foot on his hip. I'm going to come to the side. Just even this position on the side, I'm somewhat perpendicular to him, where I can look into his ear. All right, I'm not here. I've got a little bit of distance. The reason that distance is important is because what I'm doing here with this foot is I'm pressing down, and it's preventing him from turning into me. There's pressure down here. I'm not being loose with these. So this foot is pressing down either on his hip or on my heel. And then I'm going to push this here. I'm going to swim it here. If you have long legs, you can push your foot all the way down here, where he's going to feel like he's completely trapped. If you have shorter legs, you're just going to cross your legs up here. You never cross your legs down here, because he can ankle lock me like that. But if you cross your legs up here, they're perfectly safe. And now you have your one hand against his chin. You can swim it in. If you're in a training competition, you want to be a little mean, you can grab the chin and pull this way. We're not going to learn that. You just do this, be nice to your training partner, swim across, and then you can finish it from here, right? You've got a variety of ways. This choke, your cross collar choke. You can let go of this hand and do your rear naked, etc. But let's just work on that sequence, okay? 1, 2, 3. Position to the side. And the reason for that is your starting position is wrong. If you start from here and you move to the side, your opponent is going to fall way down your chest, towards your stomach, and there's going to be too much space. So remember what I said at the beginning about when you start your back control, you're here. This is the place you want to start. When I get these two grips and I move to the side, look at my chin. I'm still here. I'm looking into his ear, but look how close my chin is. What's happening to a lot of you is you're landing up here. For me to choke him from here is very ineffective. Look at how far my hands are, right? It's very hard for me to choke him. Now, maybe I can move to an arm bar, but that's not what we're learning today. So, as with all things in Jiu-Jitsu, if you're finding in a technique that you're landing in a position that's not right, retrace your steps and start from the beginning. What is your beginning position here? This is my back control, right? I am literally like a koala on his back. If I get this hand, and I get this hand, I put this foot on the hip, I put this foot across his waist, and I move to the side. Look how close I am to his chin. See how close I am to his back? Then I can come bring this over. Now, some of you are having a little bit of difficulties with the rear naked. We're going to do a very simple cross-collar choke. I'm going to come across his neck, and I'm going to get my thumb in here. And my thumb is touching his shoulder blade here. I'm just going to grab this right here. This hand is going to let go and just come across and grab his collar. And all you're going to do with this hand is pull it all the way down. That's all. You're not doing anything more, and this hand is just straightening the collar. So this hand straightens. You see how there's no slack? This hand just comes across like that. But notice, even when I do all this, notice how close I am to his back, right? At no point am I here. This is very hard for me to choke him. It gives him a lot of space to escape. So if you fall into this position and you're getting here and you're all the way here, that means you started off wrong. So come back here, my chin on his shoulder, I keep my chin, I keep my chin, I keep my chin here the whole time. I'm tight. I get my foot over, look, I'm still tight. I get my hand across. I get the cross collar, and then I finish the choke. So let's try that one more time. 1, 2, 3. What I'm gonna do is this thumb is watch. I'm gonna just sneak it in like this. And I don't wanna be here. This is too shallow. I wanna come all the way here. I have to cut blood off to your carotid artery. In order to do that, I have to have my choking hand all the way here. And then once I have this choking hand here and under the chin, this hand is just gonna remove the slack, and you can already feel it. And this choking hand, you're bringing this elbow back towards your body like that.